When I hit 1,000 subscribers, I promised that I would make an SMP. And then it took me until October to actually make it. But that SMP has evolved quite a lot. People have been more involved in the SMP than I ever expected they'd be, and that's kind of a good thing, but also not really. Today, I'm going to explain to you the story of the SMP up to this point, just so that we can have a little recap to go back when the server inevitably dies. But it's been very fun, and the story has evolved much more interesting than I ever expected. I originally wanted this server to be scripted improv. Then, it turned out that I didn't need improv because people ended up making interesting stories by themselves, including arcs such as the Broken Company arc and the Lantau arc. So, you'll see all of that up soon. When the server first started, it was a simple server. Just a server of survival. There were no nations yet. This is the map of the server, and I'll explain a bit more about it later, but basically, this little area right here is spawn, and this is also where the first stream would take place. In this stream, 4 people would join: Ocean, Zushi, Adventure Steve, and Commander Waffle. These 4 would later go on to found the First Nation, which they all still live in to this day. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. When it was just Ocean and Zushi, there were so many mobs on the surface because, well, spawn area is a jungle biome, as you'll see later. So, Ocean decided to hide out in a cave they found underground, while Zushi kept continuously dying to all the zombies and skeletons on the surface, which made for some pretty funny laughs for me as I hid out in the cave. Eventually, however, the group of 4 was able to make a small house, which later became the community house, naming this place La House. Also, another player joined, Blacksmith11, also known as Broken. He would later become one of the most polarizing and powerful figures in the server. However, the next stream, Broken had an idea. You see, the main city, Central, was located on sea level, so when you mined down, you could only find resources that were under Deep Slate. If you don't know what Minecraft is or how it works, then you don't need to worry about this part. But basically, above sea level in Minecraft, there are certain things you can't get under sea level. So, while all of Central just stuck to mining at sea level, Broken went into the mountains and found stuff that Central couldn't get. So, he then charged absurd prices, sometimes even 20 diamonds for only a few of their resources. Things were growing great, and with the addition of 2 more members, Nyes and Pokemon, you'll see me not mention a lot of people that joined. They just appear, so get used to that. It was going very, very well. But what is a Minecraft Nations server without some nations? So, eventually, Nyes left for an island, which in real life is called Green Island, and then called it Uno. This would be the second nation on the Ocean SMP. He also claimed Little Green Island right next to it. With this, a rebranding was done. In Central, the current legal government body had been the Central Commune, which was basically just a town of some people with no official leader. So, eventually, the Republic of Hong Kong was founded with Ocean as its leader. This meant that technically it was the 3rd nation ever made. With this, the Central Commune was dissolved. This meant the Central Commune was the first nation, and now also the only nation in the server to no longer exist. For quite a while, nothing major happened in the new nations. However, something eventually happened when Nyes decided to move out of Uno because apparently he was already bored of it. This left Pokemon, who was also living there, to become the nation's new leader. Nyes and Ocean talked in VC and eventually decided that they would give Nyes creative so that he could build different fortresses throughout the area. These would be villager outposts, pillager villages, and more. So, eventually, he made it so that there would be different villages with different loot in them. Some had villagers, and some had pillagers, where once you defeated them and did the raid, there had loot inside the buildings. However, what this loot was never specified. This would later become a point of contention. Then, a player named Red Brick joined. However, his time in Central was short-lived. After apparently seeing a hotel there, he concluded that the server was a cringe roleplay server, so decided to move to an island in an area of Hong Kong that no one really knows about. Then, a player named Eggcorn joined. Invited by Broken, they started a company together on the mountain, mining things that Central couldn't get, and then of course selling it at absurd prices. But they also did other stuff. For example, a path was needed to be made between Central and Uno to facilitate trade and good relations. So, the two entrepreneurs then made a path from Central to somewhere near Uno, and were paid 20 diamonds for it. Then, Ocean, Zushi, and Commander Waffle made a trip down to South Lantau, for the sake of the fact that Ocean and Commander Waffle had previously been there before in real life. So, they decided to establish a new state, called the Islamic Emirate of Lantau. And, since that expedition, Commander Waffle has never left South Lantau. Then, Red Brick, the guy from before, who had apparently founded a faction called the, oh boy, Cool Kids Club, with K's, came down to Central and began burning stuff to the ground and doing horrible stuff to the animals, then promptly left. This resulted in a massive response from Hong Kong, where basically everyone that lived in Hong Kong all decided to go to his place, burn it to the ground, and kill him once and for all. However, on their way there, they all got lost and decided to come back to Hong Kong. But with so many people in so many places on the server crashed. Then comes what I would like to call the max exodus. Basically, many people left Hong Kong. Some because they had high standards for building and said that the city was ugly, some because they just wanted to start their own nation, and one person who named SCP left because he worked for Broken's company, but then was treated as a slave there. So, since slavery wasn't yet outlawed in Hong Kong, he decided to just leave Hong Kong and go to Uno. As well as that, Broken, Eggcorn, and some others decided to go up north and found, I believe it was called, the National Socialist Republic of North America, even though they were in Hong Kong. Then, finally, Nyes decided to leave Hong Kong, and Hong Kong granted him some land in Kai Tak to found the country of New Sadi, which, if I'm gonna be honest, has the best flag I've ever seen. Then things have been rather peaceful, other than Broken constantly threatening to invade Hong Kong because he has more people, but that all changed when, just yesterday as of recording this, his nation split, with only 2 people remaining. And one of those people is barely active, so it's almost like one person running an entire nation and saying they're an empire. And that's basically where we are now. I bet there's a few stuff that I missed and that some of the members of the SMPs are gonna comment on things that I got wrong, but that's basically, in the shortest form, the entire story up until now. I will likely make a part 2 in maybe a month or 2 when the story gets a bit more juicy, but for now, things are rather peaceful. The server is mostly private, but if you request to, I might let you in. So, if you do want to join my Discord server down below and send me a DM, then I might or may not invite you. Anyways, sorry I haven't posted in a while, and hopefully I can see you all very, very soon.